Hey, do you have a lifetime subscription to Michael's so you can go bankrupt on artisan bottles? Did you accidentally type potions in the YouTube search engine and suddenly get the urge to burn this site to the ground and start over?
Wait, what happens when you drink the potion?
After you drink it, you turn into Ligma.
What's Ligma?
Well, congratulations! You might be an alchemist. But what is an alchemist? Well, stock up on plenty of corks, watch what happens when you mix all the soda fountain drinks at once, and start crafting that perfect cocktail, because
Your potion has gotta make it all my mind.
sometimes nothing in this world is better than a cold drink, especially if that drink is glowing and filled with an unknown concoction of magical mayhem. But hey, we only live once, so bottoms up. So of course there's somebody out there ready to cook up a crafty cocktail or pop out the perfect potion. It only takes a little bit of practice. And that's what the Alchemist Artificer does best. You see, while Artificers are technically magical, they're almost more magic adjacent, letting their tinkering do the talking. And unlike those silly wizards with their noses stuffed in a dusty old tome, our work isn't theoretical, it's all too real. But you're much more than the average town potion seller, as your magical wine coolers have quite the kick to them. And while there's parts of your craft that are still a bit experimental, the Alchemist usually has just the right stuff to give you the edge. But first,
Full Metal Alchemist.
have you ever wanted a bite-sized game to fit your bite-sized adventurers? Do you and your friends usually explore stacked on top of each other in a trench coat? Well, if this sounds like you, I'm happy to introduce you to Kobold Quest From Ashes to Empire. This is the sequel to the acclaimed Kobold Quest adventure and gives you the opportunity to explore new worlds as your favorite tiny dragons. Embark on an epic campaign as your kobold colony searches for a new place to call home, and fight against new monsters with new magic items, poisons, and more, and help your scaly buddies escape before those nasty gnomes find out where you've gone. Kobold Quest is available to play on 4 different systems, including 5e, Pathfinders 1 and 2, and Basic Fantasy. And you do not need to have played the original to be caught up on the story. So if you want to join in on the itty bitty fun, you can do so right now over on Kickstarter today, with backers getting PDF and hardcovers of the book, but also the ability to create plot hooks and NPCs to be added to the game. So check out the link below and be one of the first to bag Kobold Quest From Ashes to Empire today. But remember, tell them Yemba sent ya. A big thanks to Kobold Quest for sponsoring the show, and now, back to the video.
Full Metal Alchemist.
So you want to start spending more time in the lab than a medieval Walter White? Well, the best way to do that is to start out as an artificer. Artificers are great because they don't rely on book learning or demon packs or soul juice to power their arcane creations, but instead a little good old-fashioned elbow grease. So we start out with magical tinkering to do some light work on some mundane items, letting us imbue them with magical effects, like a pair of sunglasses that emit bright light, or an illusion of a snake in your friend's toilet, or put a tiny tape recorder into a piece of paper so that you can remind yourself to pick up milk.
He needs some milk.
You also get spellcasting, though artificer spells are unique as they require a set of tools to perform them. And while that may sound weird to some, trust me, nothing feels better than casting Cure Wounds by whapping your friend over the head with a monkey wrench. At second level, we get the ability to infuse items, and though you can't yet make potions, you can infuse things like +1 weapons and armor, repeating crossbows, a shit ton of magic items, and a tiny homunculus to help you with your crafting, that we just named Jesse for no particular reason.
Yes, science!
But finally, we roll around to level 3 and we can start brewing up the good stuff. We automatically gain proficiency with alchemist supplies, so we're never caught dead without a beaker on hand, as well as a few alchemist spells like Healing Word to beam a little health vial at an ally's head for a d4 of healing as a bonus action, and Ray of Sickness to shoot the baddies with a 2d8 poison gun. Or, I guess just a regular gun, since lead poisoning is a thing. But much more importantly, we finally get to try out our experimental elixirs. After getting up from a long rest, your alchemist can pour their heart into a bottle and create one free elixir with a random effect by rolling a d6. This effect can be something like healing for a 2d4 plus your intelligence modifier boost, swiftness to increase their walking speed by 10 feet, resilience to increase their AC by 1, boldness to add a d4 to attacks and saves, flight for a 10-foot flying speed, and transformation to be altered altered by the Alter Self spell. These effects can last anywhere from 1 minute to 1 hour and take effect when chugged, but our Alchemist can also dump a first level spell slot into another bottle to make a new elixir. You better use them up fast, however, because these potions only last until your next long rest, but luckily as we level up we can start each new day with 2 and 3 elixirs at levels 6 and 15. And to round off level 3 we grab right tool for the job, so we're never without a tool we need, letting you magically create any set of artisan's tools as long as you have something like a screwdriver on your person, which comes in handy if you ever drop your chemistry set climbing a mountain or fighting a demon. But bouncing up to 5th level, we become an alchemical savant. This allows you to add your intelligence modifier to any healing spell you cast through your alchemist supplies, along with any spell that does acid, fire, necrotic, or poison damage, which will come in handy for our next 2 alchemist spells. Flaming Spear lets you burp a flaming ball of fire that you can control with your bonus action, as well as Melf's Acid Arrow, which does 4d4 acid damage on a hit and 2d4 on the target's next turn. Not to be confused with Milf's Acid Arrow, which is going to force me to watch another season of the train wreck that is MILF Manor.
I got pink eye from
Yikes! How about we wash that out of our eyes with some tool expertise at level 6 to double your proficiency bonus for any check with a tool you're proficient in, and Flash of Genius at level 7 to outsmart the bad guys and add your intelligence modifier to any ability check or saving throw you or an ally attempt to make within 30 feet by spending your reaction to shout out advice whether your friends ask for it or not. At level 9 our polished little potions become even more potentially potent as restorative reagents. Now no matter what you roll on the elixir table, they all give out temporary hit points equal to 2d6 plus your intelligence modifier for a pretty solid boost before going into a fight. You also gain Lesser Restoration, which you can cast using your alchemy supplies without having to prepare the spell a number of times a day equal to your intelligence modifier. That helps cure diseases, blindness, deafness, poisoning, or paralysis, and essentially lets you become the party's combat medic, which is pretty cool. We also pick up the spell's Gaseous Form to run around as a sentient fart cloud so we can fly through the air and squeeze under doorways, and Mass Healing Words to heal with words massively. At 10th level we become Magic Item Adept to attune to 4 magic items at once, as well as learn how to craft magic items of common or uncommon rarity for half the time and a quarter of the gold, so we can open up our side hustle as a medieval arms dealer. And level 11 lets us store spells in items, so we can hand them out to friends as long as they're 1st or 2nd level to make cool stuff like the Sword of Sanctuary, the Crossbow of Blur, or a Dagger of Spider Climb, or funny stuff like the Whip of Levitate to spin it around your head like a helicopter and take to the skies, or the Net of Web. That's just funny. 13th level lets us pick up 2 more spells like Blight to hit a baddie with 8d8 necrotic damage on a failed con save, which can also really mess up magical trees for some reason. And Death Ward to bless an ally and give them a free life to bounce back to 1 hit point if they fall in battle. Or just cast it on yourself and jump off a cliff for a real easy way down. At 14th level we become a Magic Item Savant, so we can attune 5 magic items at once, as well as ignore all class and racial requirements for those items, meaning our humble alchemist can actually wield a paladin's Holy Avenger. And Chemical Mastery at level 15 to gain resistance to acid and poison damage, as well as immunity from the poison condition. And the ability to cast either Greater Restoration or Heal once a day for free without needing to expend a spell slot or a material component. But wrapping up with our last 2 alchemist spells, we get Cloud Kill to spread some poison gas over a 20-foot radius circle for a great containment spell, and for us, an excellent escape trick, and Raise the Dead so a fallen ally can try one of your latest and greatest cocktails to suck their souls back into their body and bring them back to the land of the living. Which, if you think about that, is pretty wild, right? Like, we didn't talk to a god or anything. We literally just reversed death with sheer scientific know-how. But we still gotta wrap up with some Artificer stuff like Magic Item Master to attune up to 6 magic items at once, and the Soul of Artifice to gain a +1 bonus to all saves per magic item we're attuned to, and if we ever hit 0 hit points we can end an infusion to drop to 1 instead. So, does the Alchemist have what it takes to mix it up? Yeah, but I like the Alchemist in concept a lot, but there are some glaring issues with it that I just can't seem to get over. Firstly, in my opinion, I don't like the randomness of your magical elixirs, as that doesn't seem to fit either thematically or mechanically with what you're going for. Just getting rid of the random table and letting you choose which effect you can put in an elixir would be a major fix, and I think make this subclass feel a lot more cohesive. Secondly, while the Alchemist is probably the most straightforward of the Artificer subclasses, it also has the least least in terms of buffs. Besides getting more elixirs per day, we don't really see those expanded by much to do additional effects or have more options. But honestly, I would have liked to see more done with the main focus of this subclass, and I feel like that's really lacking. While I can't say the subclass is weak, it's not mechanically or roleplay wise nearly as cohesive as the other three, and I feel like that's a shame. Some sort of system to allow you to craft straight potions over time, like spell scrolls, or maybe even with the use of a spell slot, would have been really cool, but we don't really have a ton to work with here. I did, however, see one build I liked where you can multiclass this with the Genie Warlock to have a portable lab and extra first level spell slots for elixirs per day, and that was pretty cool. I guess in all, I like the Alchemist, I just want more to do with it. Give me something with potion craft and maybe some buffs to my elixirs and we can call that a subclass. But maybe that's a recipe for another day. So if you can mix up a drink so strong it would knock a bear on their ass, or the world's most renowned healer but are too busy adventuring to stay in the hospital waking up dead folks, and don't respect knights...
Why respect knights? When my potions can do anything that you can.
Guess what? You might be an alchemist. Hey guys, as always, I can't thank you enough for watching. I wish I had a story about alchemy to share, but all I did in chemistry class was light matches on fire and make my teacher hate me. But if you like this video, please consider subscribing and commenting and all the good stuff. Or if you want to be like these cool people on screen, be sure to join the Patreon. Patrons can sign up for only $1 and get your name up here like these cool cats. And a very, very special thank you to the top-tiered patrons, Sora, Sin, Miles Not Yard, Spider Lover, Tedsy, and King Osiris. You guys rock. But if you want any more Yemba shenanigans, come see me on the Discord server, and until next time, I hope you guys have a lovely day, and I'll see you very soon.